Hello chaps, here we are in Warsaw and it's pretty cold actually, pretty cold this afternoon I have to say. It's gone wintry again. And what I wanted to talk about, maybe the weather suits the mood of the talk, because what I wanted to chat about today is this issue of loneliness while traveling. If you're living a digital nomad lifestyle, if you're working remotely, if you've just managed to arrange your life in such a way that you're able to travel, and you're not near that core sort of nucleus of friends and family that you normally have, how do you deal with the pangs of loneliness? It's all going down Warsaw city centre. Crazy, it's like the Bronx. Yeah, how do you deal with the loneliness? Okay, well, firstly, I think it depends to some extent on your personality type. In fact, it definitely depends on your personality type. Myself, I don't really get that lonely, to be honest. I've been here in Warsaw on my own for, 4 days? Something like that. Have I got lonely? No. I can honestly say that I haven't. But then my routine is quite fixed. And that's, I suppose, tip number one. Keep yourself busy, right? Have something to do. Because I get up, I've got to do work, I've got to go to the gym, go out, do some walking, get my steps in, record some videos, all of that good stuff, which means that, to be honest, most of the time I'm pretty busy and I'm not thinking about like, oh, woe is me, I'm so lonely, blah blah blah. But also I've always been quite introverted anyway. I like my own company, I like my own space. And it's ironic because you get a lot of guys in this space and they bang on about being like a Sigma male. You know, it's like, yeah man, be a Sigma male. The guy that the matrix, outside of the matrix, that the man can't control. You know, he needs no one, he's super cool and blah, blah, blah. But these same guys, unless they're surrounded by a massive group of mates, seem to crumble and they can't handle it. I mean, if you really aspire to this sort of mythical status of being Sigma, then quite frankly, you've got to man up a bit and just be prepared to accept being on your own and accept the fact that there are ups and downs with that. I mean, there are ups and downs with being on your own for sure. I mean, there are going to be moments when maybe you're sitting in your hotel room and you're feeling a little bit low and you're thinking, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had a girlfriend here or my mates were here or whatever. But equally, there are also negative times when you're with people as well. Sometimes you're with that girlfriend or you're with a woman and you're thinking, God, I just, you know, even if you really like her, you're thinking, oh, it'd be nice if I'd just be on my own for a bit, just take some time out, have a bit of a breather. And it can be the same with friends as well sometimes. You know, you want that space, you want that time on your own. So there's ups and downs to everything. You know, there's pros and cons with everything. But I think freedom, which I suppose is what we're talking about here really, because a lot of people get into the sort of traveling digital nomad lifestyle essentially because they want to feel free. They don't want to feel constrained by society any longer, by the normal things that people have to do in society. They want to break out of that. You know, there's going to be costs. You don't get anything for free. Nothing worthwhile comes easily. And one of those costs is going to be a degree of loneliness. I mean, my friend Tom used to talk about this. So the price of freedom is occasional loneliness. Well, what are you going to do, right? There's always a toss-up with these things. There's always going to be a price that you're going to have to pay if something's worth having. So really, for you, you just have to weigh up, is the freedom that I can enjoy from traveling, from working remotely, from not being fixed in one particular space all the time, is that freedom, is the pleasure of that freedom sufficient to outweigh the pain, if you like, of a little bit of loneliness every now and then? Get run over. I was getting run over by the motorbike. Are you going to take on that cost in order to enjoy that benefit? And that really is a personal choice for everybody. I think there are some people who are so extroverted, they genuinely they genuinely have that feeling of like they have to be around people, they have to enjoy the company of other people, and if they don't, they feel like they are at death's door, they don't feel like they're properly alive and all that. I think for those people it's going to be harder. I personally am somewhat more on the introverted side of the scale. I do like being around people, I do like travelling with other people as well. That's enjoyable. It definitely has its pros, definitely has it, well, literally if you're travelling with Tusk, it definitely has its benefits. But I also sometimes like to be on my own as well, because it's more reflective. I tend to get more done. You can access your thoughts better when you're on your own in many cases. You can, just going on a long walk like this, for example, you can really get in touch with yourself, how you're really thinking about things, how you're really feeling. And that, from a work perspective, for me anyway, is very valuable, so it's great. But you have to also develop a certain degree of self-sufficiency, and I think, I mean, again, it's ironic that this is a space where people talk about stoicism a lot. You know, guys are always like, yeah man, stoicism, yeah, the Spartans, yeah, Marcus Aurelius, meditations, and they're banging on this stoic drum, and yet they're away from their mates for 2 nights in a foreign hotel. And they crack up because of like, oh, how do I deal with the loneliness? Well, you know, what about that stoic thing? Well, what about being a bit stoic about it, right? You know, there's always going to be, as I say, a price to pay for the things that you want. And if one of those things is freedom and the ability to be somewhat off the grid and to have a degree of autonomy and, you know, get up at whatever time you want and be in a foreign country and enjoy all of those benefits, then let's actually go over here. Then, yeah, you know, you've kind of got to suck it up. Of course, the obvious advice for this, and the advice that we've given many times before, and in fact, Mr. Paul Janka has talked about this at length as well, is that you should have a core group of friends who you are very connected with, right? I mean, that should be the case whether you're traveling, whether you're not traveling, whatever you're doing. You need to have a core group of friends, preferably male friends. I mean, not exclusively male friends, but male friends. You know, you should have that core group of friends that you're in touch with. Now, I was actually out for dinner the other day in Berlin with a guy that I'm friends with, and he was talking about sort of this issue or a similar issue. He's not in the dating realm or anything like that, but he was saying how one of his best mates lives in the UK. This guy's South African, by the way. He's in Berlin, and the other one lives somewhere else. I forget where it was. It was somewhere really. It might have been Hawaii or something like that. It was some fairly place I wouldn't have expected. And he said, so there's 3 of us. We've been friends for many, many, many years. We know each other better than anybody else on the planet. And he said, we're in this WhatsApp group. You know, we're in this WhatsApp group, and he said, we communicate daily, multiple times a day. He said, if I pick up my phone now, there's probably going to be like 20 unread messages in this WhatsApp group where we've been pinging each other backwards, or they've been pinging, sending messages, blah, blah, blah. And he then said, would I want to live in the same city as those guys? Not necessarily. He said, we meet up maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, get together, have a dinner or whatever. Do we need to meet up every day, every week, every night? No, probably not, right? The technology has given us this amazing connectivity where we can maintain friendships, we can maintain relationships with other people, and we don't have to be physically in the same place. We don't have to be in the same country. We don't even have to be in the same continent. And we can have that degree of connectivity. In fact, when I think about WhatsApp, it's probably enabled me to have more contact with certain people in my life than I had even when we were living in the same town. Because you just get into that habit of sending a ping, sending a quick message, sending a reply, blah, blah, blah. And that really helps to reduce this feeling of loneliness, because you're always connected, right? You know, your phone, the internet, means that you are always connected. You're only at the end of a message before you can get in touch with somebody, wherever you are in the world at whatever time. And that's an amazing thing. Now, yes, of course, you might say, well, that's all very well, but it's not real. You're communicating through a screen. What about the joy of being in the same room as somebody and all of that? And that is absolutely true. I do accept that. I do accept that. But again, as I say, there's going to be costs and there's going to be benefits, and you have to do that cost-benefit analysis. And if the benefit is, well, I get to travel and I get to be in different places and have a great time, but the cost is I'm going to feel a bit lonely, then having that internet connectivity, having WhatsApp, having Zoom, whatever, it's not bad. It's not a bad substitute. And you're going to be meeting people in the new place anyway. You know, particularly if you are learning social skills and you're doing what we do when we travel, which is we're going and we're socializing with lots of different people, you're going to be meeting new people anyway. So you are going to have that human contact. It's not like you're going to be sat locked away in a room, unless that's, you know, what you enjoy doing. You're not going to be sat locked away in a room. You are actually going to be meeting people. And the other older people that you know better, the more intimate group of friends that you have, you're going to be in contact with them remotely as well. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So I think learning social skills, learning cold approach or whatever you want to call it, which is basically just going and talking to people, learning that and applying that when you travel will assuage your loneliness, and keeping close contact with your friends and acquaintances, not acquaintances, you know, your friends, people that you've got that close bond with back at home, that's going to sort of take care of the other part of it. And of course, your trips don't have to last forever. I'm here for a few days. I go back to Berlin tomorrow. I've got a couple of things to do there, and then I'm likely going back to London. And obviously when I'm back in London, I'll catch up with my friends there. I've also got friends in Berlin as well, so there's that. I've got friends, I mean, what am I talking about? I've got friends here. I was seeing some people here yesterday. So yeah, I think that's what you need to do. You have a bit of a patchwork. You start to make acquaintances and friends in the different locations you go to. And obviously if you're dating as well, you know, you meet girls, you probably meet their friends. I was walking down the streets here in Warsaw the other night, and I told this story in another video, but this couple approached me, the woman and the guy, and the woman was like, "Oh, hey Troy, how's it going?" And she knew me because she's mates with this girl that, it's fucking music, let's go back down here actually. She knew me because she was mates with this girl that I was dating, this Ukrainian girl that I was dating. So, and then we all ended up going out and having a bite to eat and stuff. So, meeting people in different places, just being social. I mean, that's the whole name of the game. That's what we are promoting here, isn't it? And having that connectivity with the people back at home, the people closest to you, those intimate friends. And you can then run things past people. Like I've been speaking today to 2 or 3 people who've known me for years, who've known me for like 15, 20 years, talking to them about certain issues that have arisen during the day. They're hundreds of miles away, they're thousands of miles away. It doesn't matter. We still have that connectivity. They've still been able to advise me. We've still had that communion. But now I'm out and about and, you know, meeting some new people here and having a blast. So I just don't really feel that loneliness. And if I do sometimes feel loneliness, I either call a friend that I've known for a long time, and that really helps, or I do some exercise, or I go for a walk or something like that. And I just tell myself, look, you've just got to man up. You've just got to deal with this. And usually what happens is, say Sunday night you're feeling a bit lonely. Okay, fine, whatever. Go to bed, watch a TV show, watch some Netflix. Be kind to yourself, chill out. Next morning you wake up, you're probably going to feel fine. You know, you're probably going to feel fine. Emotions are always fleeting. And an emotion like loneliness is particularly fleeting. It's the kind of thing that comes onto you for a little while and then it passes over, all right? Nothing lasts forever, okay? So just ride the wave. Accept that it's part of the deal. Mitigate it as best you can by being in contact with people back home or people that you know well. Go out and meet new people and just man up a bit and be stoic and accept that this is one of the costs of the lifestyle that you are currently leading. And that's about it, really. I think that's really all that I can say about loneliness. As I say, for me, it's not really a huge problem. There are certainly times when I want to go back home. There are certainly times when I want to go back and touch base with people that I know well, and I want to actually physically be with them and spend time with them. That's certainly true. But when that happens, you just go home. You know, you just pay a visit back home. So I don't see this as being an insurmountable thing, really, and I don't see it as being a huge problem. But hopefully this has been helpful to people who are maybe considering having a more nomadic sort of lifestyle or traveling more, or people who are already doing it. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Put a comment in the box below, give me a like, get onto my free email newsletter if you haven't done so already. And if you want to read more of my stuff about dating and the dating marketplace and stuff, read my collection of 11 books, Renegade Dating Blueprints. The link is below. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.